In this video, I'm going to show you how to create doors and windows the simple way using Flextools for Sketchup. Let's go. Alright, so this video is an extract from our larger course called Create 3D Floor Plans with Sketchup, V-Ray and Flextools, which you will find in the link in the description. Go check it out. And you'll learn how to create nice looking 3D floor plan sectional renders just like this, which will definitely boost your interior design business and career, hopefully. Alright, so now let's jump straight to the video. We'll start off with how you can create doors and windows the manual way, and then I'll show you how Flextools can drastically improve your modeling workflow. Let's get right to it.
Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you two ways to create our doors and windows. We'll start off with the manual way. So the manual way is of course by creating the lintels and then placing a door from 3D warehouse. So if I enter this group, I can use the push-pull tool. And then I'm going to press Ctrl to make a copy. And now you can see that I get this sort of the door width in place with this line here as well. Now, a lot of students, when they sort of move this line on top, this happens when they sort of move this line, and that's because you're not making a copy of this line, but you're rather moving the line. So what you would need to do is select this line, press M, and then tap Ctrl on your keyboard. So that would toggle the copy mode. And now if you make a copy, it would copy the line. So you can copy this to 1100 mm. And we've created that line, which will also separate the faces. Now we can use the push-pull tool and then push this out. Alright, so once we pushed it out, there's one extra face here. Let's reverse this. So if you see these blue faces, always get in the habit of reversing them. So right click on reverse face. Alright, so now we can place our door and we can place it from 3D warehouse. So let's go to Windows, 3D warehouse and search for door. Now you can download any of these doors here. Now let's say for example, I'm going to download this generic door. So click on download and click on yes. Then place this door. Then you'll have to rotate this door by 90. Move it in place. And then we'll have to also scale it down. So use the scale tool and scale it this way. Now the biggest problem is when you're starting to scale stuff, you can see that this frame became bigger and this frame is smaller. So it's not dynamic in nature. You can go ahead and use live components. So if I delete this door, go to Windows, 3D warehouse, and this time I'm going to go to my options here. So let's go to properties, advanced, and switch on live component. And also make sure let's search for doors in the model window. So here we can see we have some different doors here. So maybe let's select residential interior. And there's no configure option. Because they removed it, you'll have to configure the component directly within SketchUp. So let's click on download and click on yes. And let's place this door now. Again, we'll have to rotate it by 90 and then place it inside. And you can't really scale a live component door. So you'll have to adjust it manually. So the width here in this case is 1050 mm by 2100. So select the door, right click and click on configure live component. So now it would connect to the server. The SketchUp server that is, and then it'll show you the various parameters for this door. So you can see that door width right now is 762. So let's change this to 1050 mm. So now the door width changes, and then the door height is at 1100 mm. So this is the other way you can create a door, but then again these are a lot of steps. So lo and behold, we have a new awesome plugin called Flextools. So let me delete this door. And let me just push this wall out as well. Delete this line. And let me just simply push this wall inside. So now we have a clean wall geometry. Let's check if there's no additional lines. And now what I need to do is simply click on the door option here. And then I can just place it on the wall. So what this does is it will create an opening in the wall. And if I scale this to the edge, you can see that the frame width remains and the door adjusts automatically and also adjusts the opening automatically. Another cool feature of this plugin is that if I use this interact with dynamic component and select this option, select the door, you can see that the door swings and swings to 90, and I can also click on this flip option so that the door flips inside. How cool is that? And now again, you can sort of adjust this way. Another cool feature is now if I create a section plane, so tools, section plane, and I create the section plane on top, press OK and then move it down. Select the section plane and move it down and go to the top view. You can see that it comes in with nice sectional details of the door, which you'll hardly find in regular door components. And of course, the last feature which I'll show you is, let me just deactivate the cut and delete the section plane. We will create the section plane later on in the course. Another cool feature is that, for example, if you want to change the width, the door frame width, the shutter thickness, all you need to do is select this door, right click and go to dynamic components and click on component options. So now we have various options here. So you can, like in the live component doors, you can change the width here as well. So if you want like a proper width, you can type in 1050, click on apply, and then it adjusts here automatically. And then of course you have the wall width. So let's say this is a thicker wall, which is at 160 mm. Then you can give the wall width or the thickness, which is set at 160 mm. And then we can give an inset as well. So you can see now it's flush with the outside wall. So let's say you want to bring it in or move it in by 20 mm. So you type in 20 and click on apply, and then the shutter frame sort of moves in by 20 mm. And there's some other useful options as well. So these are the main options I use. And you can of course adjust the width of the door in plan view as well. So if you select this and move it down, you can see that the door width changes here as well. How cool is that? So Flextools is a super useful plugin. I use it a lot to model fast, add doors, windows, and more. Alright, so now let's go ahead and create the rest of the doors and windows. So here you can see that we have an opening, and here we would place a glass balcony door. So you can't really place a door as standalone. You can do that, but it's better to embed it inside a wall. So what I will do is, first I will create guides like this. So now I know how much the width of the door is, because even if I push this out, you can see that the guide remains and I know where I need to scale my door to. So now let's click on this sliding window door option and then place it on our wall. And we also need to create a lintel height. So this is set at 1200 mm, 1100 mm. And now I can select this door component, press S on my keyboard to activate the scale tool. And if you don't find this endpoint here, you can activate the X-ray mode and then press the scale tool. And now you'll find this endpoint, and now you can drag it to that edge and drag this to this edge. Now, one important tip that I would give is that if you have lines like this, you can see that we have some cross lines here. Let me delete this guide for now. And now if I select this window or door and sort of scale it to this edge, you can see that it's overlapping this line. So if I scale it, then it doesn't work. The opening doesn't create. And the reason behind this is because this geometry is not clean. We have this line here. So let me just go back, undo, and let's select these lines and delete this line as well, and this line as well. So now if I try to scale this, so press S and scale it out, you can see that it scales perfectly. The frame width remains and the opening also gets created. So it's always important that you have clean geometry before you sort of scale stuff and place Flextool components in your groups or components. Alright, so now I'll right click on this component, click on dynamic components and go to component options. And now I will remove this base here. So this is basically the sill. So I'll select this and change this to off and click on apply. So the sill goes away. And I'll also give an inset of around 50 mm because 110 is a little too much. And I'll change the wall width to 160 mm. So sometimes it sort of juts out. So make sure you give the right wall width as well. So in this case, it's 160 mm and then click on apply. Alright, so our sliding door has been created as well. How cool is that? You guys can go ahead and play with the various modes here. Let's say you want 3 sashes, you can click on 3 and click on apply, and then it changes to 3 as well. But in this case, we can give 2. because the width is not too much. So let's give 2 and click on apply. Alright, so that's a quick tutorial into the doors and windows. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and create the rest of the doors and windows. You guys can do the same as well for practice. And in case you get stuck anywhere in the process, do reach out in the Q&A section or on the discussions, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Now, in case you want to mirror the door, you can select the scale tool, then click on this endpoint and type in -1 and press enter. So now it would flip to the other side, and then simply you can move it back. Alright, so now I'll see you in the timeline, which would be go on for around 5 to 6 minutes, and then I'll see you guys next video. Cheers.